Ben Stiller, welcome to The Daily Show.
How are you?
This is so good to see. It's been so long since I've seen you in person. It was maybe 4 years ago. It feels like 40 years ago.
It feels like a million years ago. It just feels like everything feels like a long time ago, yet it also just happened.
Right?
It's really weird. And you were talking in between a little bit about the weirdness with how we're approaching COVID and where we are in COVID. And you were so spot on with it. It's just so unclear what's happening.
We're just floating.
Yeah.
You know, I know that you didn't make this show based on COVID, but really, for those who haven't watched, and I don't say this lightly because I know people who have time constraints in their lives, watch the show. I promise you, it is one of the best shows you will watch. Severance is amazing. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Congratulations. Well, let's start with that. Like, this new Ben Stiller, you know, like the moody director. It's very. I like this. I didn't see this in you like as a person. You know, you always think of Ben Stiller, the comedian.
Right.
Ben Stiller doing like the funniest movies you've ever seen. But
my inner circle knows me as the moody Ben
Stiller. I like that.
No, I mean, you know, it's been really fun to direct and not act, and I've always wanted to direct since I was a kid. Since I was like 10 years old, and have been doing it over the years, and usually acting also, but this has been really fun the last few years, and I just loved this piece of material, this script that Dan Erickson wrote. He had not had anything produced up to this point.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, no, he's a brilliant writer who was trying to get his work seen and, you know, out there, and someone in our company saw it, and I read it. I thought it was amazing, and that was 5 years ago. It took a little while to get it to the screen, but it's been really fun. And we made it totally during, you know, in a bubble during the pandemic. Really, so like, we were about to start shooting 6 weeks. We were 6 weeks from shooting when the pandemic hit, and then we stopped for a second. But it's been very much insular, and then now to have it out in the world all of a sudden and to have people interact with it, it's been so satisfying. But it felt for a long time we were just doing this for ourselves. Like it was.
I feel like everything felt like that during the pandemic.
Yeah.
There were moments when I was making The Daily Show where I was just like, is anybody anywhere? Because like homework felt at some point, it was just like you wake up, you do the thing, you do it again. It's in a bubble, you know?
And you're doing comedy where you're talking and making jokes and there's nobody in the room,
Yeah,
right?
nothing.
Yeah, and how could you tell if you were funny?
I couldn't. You just go like, I just became a crazy person.
But don't you think it might have made you funnier because you kind of didn't care? You could just
maybe in like a way that I'll go to therapy for, yeah.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, definitely. No, I wonder if COVID affected the show, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it, but I will tell you something you'll learn quickly, and that is, it's a show where people have found a way to sever their world and their memories from their work world and their memories. So basically, the people go to work, and they don't remember anything that happened at work, and when they're at work, they don't remember anything that happens in life.
That's right.
And when you're watching, it felt COVID-y. It felt like do you know what I mean? It almost feels like it's the perfect show for the time.
Yeah, and it felt like that when we were making it also, because we were shooting at this stage in the Bronx, actually, and we would go there and we'd go into the testing tent, which felt very post-apocalyptic, and then we'd walk into the studio, and it was a 5-minute walk down these white hallways.
That's hilarious. So
to
you were
get
doing
to the
the
studio,
thing.
and then we get to the studio, and the set was white hallways that we'd walk down. So it was, and then we'd leave at night, and nobody would see each other, and then we'd come back and test. It was so weird.
It's beautiful. I will say that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, well, we had a great team of people.
Every shot that you have feels intentional. You know, sometimes you'll watch a show and the show is great, maybe the cast is great, maybe it's terrible as well, whatever. But sometimes you watch a show like this where the cast is amazing, you know, the setting is phenomenal, but the way you shoot it feels really intentional. Like, you'll hold some shots for a long time. Sometimes it feels like you want us to feel a certain kind of way. Like, have you ever worked in a shitty office? That's what I wondered.
I have worked as an intern. The worst job I had wasn't that bad. I was a talent intern on a talk show.
Oh, that's bad, depending on the talents.
Yeah. So I had to take care of the stars who would come in. This is when I was in college in California on a show called Thick of the Night. Alan Thicke had a talk show. And so I'd like walk Charlton Heston to his car.
Wow.
Yeah. Or I'd lend Rick Dukeman, the comedian, $20 and then never get it back. So that's I mean, I worked in a camera store, but I never worked in that office sort of like that drudgery. It's mainly from watching television shows.
You capture it. Like, it feels like
I think Dan, the writer, did that. He worked many of those jobs, and he took his frustration and he put it all into his work.
You feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you, when you watch
Yeah.
the show, you go like, oh yeah, this reminds me of it. Because I would, like, my mom worked most of her life in an office, and then she couldn't afford like childcare or whatever, so she'd put me under the desk like a puppy.
Right.
And then so I'd come back from school, and then I'd be like under the desk. It was great. Don't worry about me. It's not like I was struggling. I was having a great time.
Yeah.
But I just remember like watching everyone in those cubicles, and I was like, is this life? Is this?
Right.
And the way you captured, I would love to know what you're trying to make us feel as the audience.
Well, you know, for me, it's honestly, these characters are human beings who are put in this really weird, abnormal situation. And it's kind of like any, you know, I did a prison show before this, and it's kind of similar in that people are going to be human beings, and no matter what, you know, what environment you're in. So there's a humanity to these characters who don't know who they are,
They start developing their humanity, in fact. Yeah.
Exactly. They're almost like children because they've only been cognizant for a few years.
Right.
So they're trying to figure out who they are, and I think that's really interesting. Also, the idea of like what memories and emotions can seep through if you're severed, because you know, does love transcend severance?
Right. Do you remember those things?
Right.
So does this mean we've lost you as Ben Stiller, the comedy guy?
No.
I didn't like that there was an
No, I was just thinking about how
a straight no immediately.
You're going to edit that out when I walk out.
Yeah, the falling. No one's going to see that. No one will see that.
You have. There's no more comedy guy. No, I think I love acting. I love doing comedy. It's just been a while since I've actually decided to do it. I'd love to do it in the future. It's just kind of figuring out how to jump back in.
You know when I felt like you were in one of your own comedy movies is when there's that clip that went viral of you with the Australian tennis player. Right? I don't know if you've seen this. And people misconstrue what's happening because I think he was talking to someone else in the crowd.
It was the weirdest thing. Yeah, so we were like in the front row. It's Indian Wells tennis. And basically what happened was it was Nick Kyrgios. He talks to himself a lot during the matches, and he kept on saying, "Oh man, get your first serve in, get your first serve in." And there was a gentleman next to me who decided when he started to serve to tell him, "Yeah, get your first serve in." And so Nick Kyrgios like turns and goes, why are you talking to me? Do you play tennis? Are you a good tennis player?" And the guy's like, "No." And then he looks at me and he goes, "Do I tell him how to act?" And I'm like, and I didn't even quite hear it, so I thought he might have been talking to me. It was so weird. And then that was it. And then apparently it went viral.
Oh no, everywhere in the like, so some people understood what was happening, but most people thought that you had beef with a tennis player.
Exactly.
And the thing is, you're just sitting there like smiling, like it literally looked like a scene from one of your movies.
I know, and I didn't know what to do because everyone was like, Nick Kyrgios really let you have it. I'm like, no, I don't know. I think he's good.
Oh man, your life has been, I mean, a constant journey that we've shared with you, by the way. Thank you for everything you've done for us. Thank you for making us laugh.
Oh yeah.
You know, thank you for brightening our days.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure seeing you. Congratulations on an amazing
Great
show.
to see you.
Wonderful having
Thanks,
you here.
man.
Thank you so
All
much
right.
for being here. Season 1 of Severance is available to stream on Apple TV+.